I'm looking at you from two different angles. It's cute.
I'm just gonna. I know, dear. We just started. All right.
Kendra.
Instagram. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be looking at the other camera some of the time, so I'm not trying to ignore you. But welcome, everyone. We are live again. Welcome
Hello.
to another episode of Sunday Evening Sippin. Live across 3 platforms at the same time.
Getting jiggy with it.
We're all over the damn internet. Tonight, we're talking finished bourbons.
Yes.
Where did my sound go? Oh, my Instagram's buffering.
Hold on. Okay.
There we go.
It's not staying completely active the whole time. I just have to keep hitting it to refresh it.
Gotcha.
Because it's on my phone.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
So we're talking finished bourbons. What we mean by that is a bourbon legally that has then been put into something else. Probably the most common is a double oaked, which means it's put in a second charred oak barrel. But there's a lot of folks really just going crazy out there with finishes now. Eric.
How do I mute you on the Instagram? Because it only takes you down to 1 on my phone.
It doesn't completely turn the volume.
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. Can you hear that echo?
No.
Okay, if you can't hear it, then don't worry about it. I think it's just me just hearing it. So if you can't hear it, it's fine. We'll just roll with it. All right. Sorry. All right. Sorry, everybody. We'll get this figured out one day.
Second time's the charm.
Finished bourbons. Michael Rivers, what up?
I know my sound isn't syncing right. I didn't think so. Hold on. I'm going to jump out and jump back in.
All right. And I'm going to start pouring liquor. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. I'm burnt to a crisp because I fell asleep outside in the lawn chair, but who's to say? All right. So right now, I can still see Eric and Instagram. And I'm running the show on the live, which is very dangerous. Everybody, the shitter and the sherry's full. We're getting slizzard. All right. Welcome, everybody who is chiming in to see us. Please let us know what you are drinking, how your day was, who'd you pull for in the Masters, because it is that time again, and we love the Masters. What? I didn't watch much today. I've been pretty much dead. You hear screaming in the background. Okay. Sean Farrell says Xander was his guy. Xander Shoffley. What are you drinking tonight, Sean? I need to be drinking suntan. I drink plenty of water. I need to drink some vitamin E or something. Oh my God. I have a Oakley flak jacket tan line for raccoon eyes. Not the best. Now I can't hear you on mine. There you go. I got you.
Now? You got me?
Yep.
All right.
Sean's drinking Old Forester. We are going to talk about a little Old Forester tonight too there, bro. 1910.
That's one of them, that's for sure. My sound's still in.
I just roll with it. It's fine.
Y'all know what I'm saying. Okay. You're drinking Old Forester. I don't know what I'm drinking yet.
I'm drinking Sherry's Full. start light here.
All right. Well, tell us. So we know what a finished bourbon is. Like, what is the legality of a finished bourbon, sir?
Technically, there isn't one. For it to be called a bourbon, everybody that is a bourbon nerd pretty much knows the rules. But once it leaves the barrel, the new charred oak barrel that it is in, by all technicality and reason, the next thing you put it in, no matter what it is, it automatically makes it a whiskey, and you can't call it bourbon. However, and that's a big however, there is like nobody working at the TTB, and they pretty much, from what I know, they let most of the bourbon distillers slide by class that they file the whiskey under as a specialty whiskey in the TTB, but but they have like a little kind of thing where it says on their Kentucky straight bourbon finished in so and so and so and so, where they're not saying this is a sherry finished bourbon or whatever. It's a so and so and so and so finished in a so and so. That's kind of how they let them get around that, but it's a little bit different than the is Jack Daniel's bourbon debate. Really and technically and legally, anything finished outside of a new charred oak barrel, it should not legally be called bourbon. But the TTB allows them to do it, and my view is if the governing body allows you to do it, then keep doing it.
Roger that. So tell us about your Old Forester 1910.
So, I'm not super keen on Old Forester, but this 1910 is a part of the Whiskey Row series, which is what they did. It's 1897. It's a bottled and bond. It's a 1910, which is like 93 proof. They have a 1920, which is a prohibition style. And what was the other one that they did? The
1870, the original batch.
Yeah, 1870, the original batch. So the 1910 is it's called Old Fine Whiskey, and I'm about to butcher this lore, so help me out. Basically, it was whiskey that they were transferring, or something burned down. They had to put it into a whole nother new barrel. Like, and around that time, was that the story with that?
That's as good as I remember it.
Sean, if you're still on, maybe you can help us out. But I'm pretty sure that was it. I think it says it on here, but my eyes are kind of screwed up. Basically, it's in homage to what happened in 1910, where they had to take the whiskey that was aging because some barrels were falling apart, and they had to put it into new barrels. And so basically, this is a Kentucky straight bourbon finished in another new charred oak barrel. So you're getting not necessarily. I mean, I guess you could call it a double oak, but they were I don't know, and they call it Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, and then it has in big bold letters Old Fine Whiskey.
Because it's still legally bourbon. Because the only other thing it touched was another charred oak barrel.
Kind of.
Kind of. I know Beam's got a double oaked.
I never thought about that with Old Forester. I guess technically they could still call it that, like even in the legalities, because it was put in another new one.
Well, and if the lore is correct, that's probably why they did it, was so they didn't have to dump it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I am drinking not legally bourbon. I am breaking the law. This is a cool one I found back in the fall. It's been around a while. It's called Legent. It's a Beam Suntory product in the truest sense. So Legent is a collab between Fredno and Shinji Fukio. So Fredno is the head honcho for Beam Suntory. Shinji is the master blender for the Suntory side. So Japanese whiskey is essentially Scotch, but half the world over. So they do a lot of blending to get those flavor profiles where they want them. What they did, easy now. What they did
on the other one.
What they did with Legion is it's beam bourbon, which I love, and they've taken it, and so they've got some just regular old straight bourbon. They've got some that's finished in wine barrels and some that's finished in sherry barrels. So it's Fred's bourbon and Shinji.
Egan. What's up, Egan? Sorry, I just saw him. He was one of my roommates in college. What's up, brother?
So Shinji blended this. So it's bourbon that's blended like a Scotch would be, and it's actually very, very tasty. I don't mind that.
And the not the lore, but the austereness of who does what in the industry in Japan is different than what it is over here. Over there, the blender is kind of the same in Scotland too. Over there, the blender is the cat's pajamas. Over here, it's the distiller, which is they kind of do one and the same, but over here, a lot of the big boy distilleries have like blending and tasting panels where, you know, they've got the whiskey profile they want at every certain stage of the aging process, and then all those people just keep tasting and tasting. All right, this is how we want the taste profile, and then they'll just keep blending it till they get to that taste profile. Over there, there's one person that's pretty much in charge of blending, you know.
And those guys, like I watched a documentary on Scotch because what else do you do?
Right.
And it was, whenever this documentary filmed, it was the master blender for Dalmore. You know, the squat bottle with the cool ass stag skull. This dude's nose, just his nose, was insured for like $1 million+ pounds, which is like $1.3 million. I don't know what the exchange rate is. Just his nose. I mean, it wasn't like, there's nothing like fantastic about it. It wasn't like a beak or anything like that. It was just like, that is such an important part of his job that they insured it. So I think that's actually pretty cool. So
Michael Rivers is drinking Smoke Wagon, uncut and unfiltered.
Is that good? Oh, Fred, shout out. Thank you, Michael Rivers, for the samples you graciously provided us.
Yes, thank you.
Be on the lookout for those on the show in the future. Smoke Wagon, is it good? I see it. I like the name. I like the bottle, but I'm like
There's a lot of hype swirling around it. I'm pretty sure it's MGP. So
well, god dang, I got the internet right here.
I'd be interested, I'd be interested to do a little side by side with that and Nulu.
Nulu. Although it being uncut and unfiltered is very appealing to me.
John Farrell confirmed it is MGP. It's I think it's the high rye burn. I think it's that like 60-36-4. Yeah.
Nice. Uncut and that's a sexy bottle.
Which it looks like it's 117 proof, so I would like to put that up against the Nulu. Because I think it's uncut, and I think it's non-age stated. So if it's not age stated, and then the Nulu says it's age stated, might have a little taste off here.
Interesting.
I think there's another one called like Tumbler's Dice or Tumbling Dice or something like that. That's MGP and kind of like the same. They all hover around like $50-$60, whatever it is. But anyway, so that is the finishing process for what Old Forester is. So I'm drinking Sherry's Full Tumbling Dice. Thank you, Sean. I'm drinking Starlight Distillery's Carl Huber's sherry finished bourbon. So this is actually their whiskey. Indiana straight bourbon, I guess you could call it, or they don't call it that. Bourbon whiskey finished in sherry barrels. Okay, so for the most part, bourbon distilleries kind of get the redheaded stepchild of sherry barrels, um, unless they're getting some like American sherry or something like that, because most of the really high aged sherry barrels are going to the bigger Scotch distilleries. Um, but that's but I don't know how they get it. I don't know how they're getting it completely just darker than sin.
So I too am drinking Starlight because it's awesome. I've got their double oak. So again, this is.
Well, I'll hit you up. I'll hit you up this week, Sean.
So this is bourbon. Their bourbon finished in a second oak barrel. They don't specify, but this was a limited release. The cool thing about Starlight, and this may be how they get maybe some of those more choice barrels. They are also a winery. So
they have their own. They have their own sherry then.
Yeah, and they've got, I mean, cooperage for days. I've seen their wine cellar; it's absolutely beautiful. And some fancy cooperage too. I mean, we're talking, French oak seasoned 5 years before it was made into a barrel and stuff like that. So it's a really neat kind of marriage of two industries there together to crank out. And they've got some weird ass finished bourbons. Not like. It's just things you hadn't heard of.
Sean's he's got me a bottle of apple brandy finished rye.
Their rye is really good. Their brandy's really good. I had their brandy when I was there for a tasting back in January, and I will be back soon. If anyone from Starlight's watching, I'll be back.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Hit your gift shop and see what other tasty offerings you have. But yeah, so they get crazy with the additional, like when they do a finishing or a double oak, they have the ability to get really crazy with changing up the cooperage and doing like a French oak or one of the many other like wines or distilled spirits that they have that they can throw these bourbons into.
I think Starlight has kind of like found the cheat code for getting into a market. They're kind of really only offering to bourbon bourbon and whiskey nerds. They're not necessarily doing like a big broad spectrum into like a bunch of stores. Most of their stuffs are single barrel picks.
Well,
and they're allowed to do half barrels.
Here, most of their stuff single barrel picks. I mean, up there you can find their just regular straight bourbon whiskey on the shelf in Walgreens because they sell liquor in Walgreens up there.
Right.
And it's good. It's good bourbon. They've got a regular straight bourbon. They got a bottled bond. They've got a regular double oak that's not this limited release, and then it kind of just explodes from there. I agree, though. Yeah, they've definitely, and they probably have the ability to. They've figured out a mash bill that works, an age that works, and they've got barrels for days to be able to do all kinds of crazy shit with. So
going on to another finished product that is one of my favorites, Wild Turkey Revival. So I was speaking earlier about bourbon distilleries kind of having the second fiddle when it comes to sherry barrels. So after watching kind of like a custom video that Wild Turkey did when they did this product, Eddie Russell went to Spain to find some Oloroso sherry barrels, and when he was saying that he went through a whole bunch of different wineries and vineyards and stuff, and they didn't, like, all their stuff was like maybe 2 to 3 years old and didn't really have what they were looking for until he found this like really tiny mom and pop place and was speaking to him about the whiskey, and he went back, and the place actually had their own cooperage as well. So he went back and he found this room that was just filled with these barrels that were just like 3 inches of just black all over the top of the barrels. And he's like, oh yeah, these are like 25, 30 years old. So he's like, all right. He goes, well, you gonna sell them? So he bought a good chunk of them, and so he came back and took his 15-year and 12-year bourbons and finished it in some 25 to 30-year-old sherry barrels.
Nice. Now, how much? Because we talked about this when we reviewed the Huber's sherry. How much sweetness does the sherry impart on the turkey, or is it old enough that it's not an issue anymore?
The sweetness actually it comes from the type of sherry.
Okay.
So I've got a you know what? Let me see if I can find it real quick. I have a Carchus Lefroy.
You watch your mouth.
Watch your dirty mouth. So I have a Carchus Lefroy that is finished in Fino cast. So Fino is a very dry sherry. It's not one of your sweeter ones.
Yeah.
So that all depends on, the most populars are going to be Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez. But I think the Oloroso to me is sweeter, and the Wild Turkey Revival is very much a dessert drink. When you get into those higher ages on Wild Turkey tends to not get over oaked, but it's a different oak. If anybody's out there has ever had the Wild Turkey 17-year bottled and bond, that's the type of spice you kind of get. It's more of a spice kind of flavor, especially if they did it at 101 proof. So that sherry very much mellowed it out a good bit. Just different product. Like I said, so it all depends on the type of sherry you use too,
Right. Because I mean, I know a Scotch, like, generally if it's sherried, it's going to be, like we call a sherry bomb. It's going to be super sweet. I'm looking at my Aberlour, see my Balvenie, my Glenmorangies.
This is my sherry bomb.
Yeah. And I know we were worried about that going into that Starlight, but I think it was the sherry the sherry barrel that they used. It was sherry flavor, but it didn't add a lot of sweetness. It actually kind of cut the sweetness of the bourbon a little bit.
It's not necessary. And it's another thing too is how long it was in that sherry barrel.
Right.
From people I've talked to saying that to get a decent amount of the sherry in your whiskey, you need at least 2 years in the barrel.
I think that one was 6 months.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that was perfect.
Sherry is tricky when you're finishing stuff. Like anybody that can do a good finished product, they get high marks in my book. Because I think a finished product tasting really good is harder than just regularly doing it.
Yeah, because you could really screw up a good bourbon.
I'll tell you the whiskey the finishing technique that hides the most flaws is port. Not that every company that does a port finished something is hiding flaws, but port is the dessert of wines there. And if you want to cut down some hard tannins, port will do it. K-Killer.
Yeah, I know with that Midwinter Nights Dram, that's High West Double Rye finished in port, and it.
You know K-Killer?
I don't.
K-Killer, who you is, fool?
It definitely takes a real spicy rye and tones it down and mellows it out. But again,
Hatchback. It's joined on Instagram. What up, Hatcher? Sorry.
It's super sweet. You can't drink a lot of it or you'll end up with a headache like drinking a bottle of wine almost.
Right. So now one of the tricky ones, and this is probably one of my favorites is the Jefferson Reserve Cabernet cask finish. Sean Farrell with Midwinter Nights. Oh, Kendrick, what up, fam? Kendrick, you met Kendrick. He worked for me.
Oh, from work.
Yeah.
What up, Kendrick?
Midwinter is another person. Yeah, that's a really good one. That's a good one for those who aren't rye whiskey drinkers, which is me. I love that one. That cuts the hard dill and hard taste of that one. What else? Anyway, no. So that Pritchard Hill Cabernet finish, that one to me is absolutely deliciously done. And that being said, that has to do. I think that finishing process of that one is more on the line of the bourbon versus the actual finishing because using a Cabernet Sauvignon wine barrel is tricky.
Yeah,
very tricky. Especially because that's more of a drier red wine anyway. And so you're going to have to already have have your bourbon already just straight up a caramel bomb just so you can kind of mellow it out a little bit. Because if it's an oak bomb and you're about to throw in a really dry wine, it's going to just completely clash.
You're going to turn your face inside out.
Okay, Killa, Kendrick, what are you drinking tonight? I could probably guess, but I'm not going to say it.
I think double oaking something is another good way to like I've got Knob Creek's double oaked rye or twice oaked or twice barreled, whatever the hell it's called. But essentially it's the same thing. They took their straight rye, put it in another charred oak barrel with I think a number 4 char for an undetermined amount of time. And it cuts that rye spice down. It really mellows it out.
I knew it.
That's what he drinks. That's what he told us.
I know. That's why I said it. I know what he drinks. I'm trying to get him on some. I'm trying to get him on some better and cheaper cognac. But if he likes that, we'll let him roll with it.
Do it.
Anyway,
what do I want to drink next?
Shout out Heineken.
I just want to keep drinking this Starlight.
Hennessy and Heineken. That just sounds like an awful song. I'm on that hen and that hike. Hello, everybody out there in Radio Land on Instagram.
Oh yeah, I got to look over here. And pay attention to those folks a little bit too.
I've been looking. It's just Kendra List on the one that actually said anything, but I can see who's joined.
Like Sam Bennett and some other folks.
Egan was a roommate. Hatchback. I think that's Austin Hatcher from my high school hometown.
All right.
So I'm a dip in. I haven't. You know what? As big as a wild turkey fan I am, I have not had wild turkey in a long time. I'm gonna drink some turkey.
You're gonna.
I didn't read that. This is not you're not talking to Eric. You're talking to hashtag mix some drink Sinatra. I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
I'm sorry. Notice given via a YouTube broadcast does not.
Yeah, that does not constitute.
That's not going to get you a sick day.
Nah, my alter ego saw it, not me.
Oh, hell, I think my headphones died.
I can still hear you.
I charged them. Hell.
Oh, wait a minute. Kendrick, you working for the... You damn right, Sean, you need to buy some more rare breed. Kendrick, I'm not even your boss this week. You on the other crew.
That's right. You can't hurt.
Yeah, you're on the irrigation crew. I ain't even messing with you.
Worst you could have said was no.
Sean Farrell, he needs to get some more rare breed. My friend, yes you do.
I think we all
rare breed is just deliciousness, and it'll never end.
It better not.
Oh my
So I think I'm not as much as a bourbon purist as some folks out there. I think finished is fine as long as you like actively disclose what you're doing.
Yeah, I ain't got a problem with that. I don't. I think it should always say. You should always say so and so bourbon finished in. But it shouldn't say sherry finished bourbon, because that can mean for like prime example. So that whole reason for revival was because it was bringing back the sherry signature. Well, sherry signature was, I think it was 86 proof, and it was labeled Kentucky Straight Bourbon, finished / enhanced with sherry. And just doing my research and listening to Eddie and Jimmy and all them talk about it, it was finished in the barrel, and then they added sherry to it, like poured it into it. and the whole reason for revival was
bourbon
because
killer.
You're right. The whole reason for revival was because Bruce, the son of Eddie, found a bottle of sherry signature and was like, "This shit's amazing. Why don't we do something else like this?"
Because it's illegal. It's probably not good for you. Well, and that's the thing with Scotch is sherried versus finished in versus matured in sherry. Because if it's just sherried, then it's probably just that.
And Scotch too is tough because they don't have to tell you what it was, because it's all used barrels, so they don't really have to tell you what it was. So you could, let's just take spring, like I'm for Scotch I grabbed Spring Bank 10. Nowhere on here does it say it was finished in a sherry barrel, but some of those you can taste some sherry in,
right?
Or most of these are finished. Most of these are aged in an
ex-bourbon.
But if they started out in a sherry, they're not finished in a sherry. There's like the Glendronach Allardyce. It was aged all 18 years in a sherry barrel, but the 12-year-old was only finished in it for like a year, I think.
Right. Well, it's my Glen or Aberlour, the Abna, is matured in sherry. And I think the Wee Beastie is matured in Oloroso sherry as well. I
have it right here. Hold on.
For all 5 short years of its existence.
Right.
Is it finished or matured?
Hold on, I'm blind as a bat. Turn on my other lamp. Savory meats and black pepper, chocolate tar. Does it say on the back? Maybe, I don't know. Cannot be fully expunged. Creosol, tar, savory meat. It doesn't actually say.
The hell, I thought it did.
It might be in the tiny writing on the back, but I don't see anything. Anyway, everybody who's in, let us know what you're drinking. How's your Sunday going? We're just sitting here having a gay old time, like the Flintstones. I'm burnt to a crisp like a lobster. I got this awful blazer that I've cut the sleeves out of because it was, way too short for me. So might as well screw it. Sean, if you're still on, I know you're an Old Forester guy. What draws you to rare breed?
Sorry, the description.
I'm not an Old Forester guy.
Their website says matured in ex-bourbon and Oloroso sherry. So they mix them.
Mix them.
Mix them. Blended.
What are you drinking over there? Funky taste.
I got on this double oak and I just can't get off it.
So Sean, we got to talk about the Wild Turkey Funk. So
you ain't never tasted it.
No. I'm not saying that. So Wild Turkey, modern day Wild Turkey, has a funk. That is without question. There is a funk, and it's mostly contributed to like a weird spice that it has. It's like they comes out of their yeast. It's like a weird fruit spice funk. Now that being said, the funk that most people refer to when it comes to Wild Turkey is the funk from the late '80s.
And that's
the next time I see you, Sean, I have some old dusty turkey. I'll let you try, but some of the old Wild Turkey funk, I guess you could say, is I don't know how. I'm gonna get roasted for this. Like moldy brownies. Would that suffice there, Eric? You tried some of that dusty stuff.
It's faint, but yeah, it's like moldy brownies is about the. It's like the Campbellton funk is like it's like a weird beefy cream cheese.
Yeah. If they made a cream cheese that just had like chunks of pepperoni in it or something, I don't know.
Capicola. I was drinking that one last night, and I was like, I'm getting like, the PD and smoky, and like there's like a herbally like rhubarb note and like the fucking cheesecake.
Right. There's three distinct tastes of Wild Turkey. There's dusty turkey, classic turkey, and modern turkey. The best expression of modern turkey is the modern day version of rare breed. I want to say the best expression of classic Wild Turkey would have been the Wild Turkey Diamonds Anniversary, and then Dusty. I think the last two products that came out that had a similar profile to the Dusty taste that were recent were the 2003 Russells. That was the last of the 107 barrel entry proof, and then the Wild Turkey 17-year-old 2015. Those were the last two that kind of had that dusty funk, dusty musty funk.
Yeah.
So that's a good point, Sean. Those are supposed to be two different things. So the Russell single barrel, that is supposed to be strictly Eddie's taste, and the Wild Turkey rare breed, that's Jimmy's. That's kind of his bourbon notes that he loves. So, yes, Benjamin. But yeah, that's the stuff that he loves. What he loves, that kind of very bold. What is my favorite turkey, Kendrick?
Mine's smoked personally, but I'll go for a deep fried one every now and then.
You give me a big old damn turkey leg, son. I will be anytime, any place. I will be there. My favorite Wild Turkey. Oh, duh. The 17-year, the 2015 edition.
I am a huge fan of, because nobody cares what my favorite Wild Turkey is, but I'm going to tell you anyway because it's my damn show too. Rare breed rye.
Rare breed rye. There you go.
Rare breed rye.
Yeah. And like I said, the unsung hidden gem of the Wild Turkey collection, the Russell's Reserve 10-year-old.
Right.
I'll tell you the
I've got all pour left in mine.
Eagle Rare 10-year-old is very similar in profile to the Wild Turkey Diamonds anniversary. It's very fruity, and it's I don't know, between those two, Russell's to me is way oakier, and Eagle Rare is I don't know, that mash bill itself for Buffalo Trace is just kind of fruit forward. I never get a lot of oak on that mash bill.
I definitely get the most in Eagle Rare, but you're right, especially like Maine Buffalo Trace, you really get some like fruit and citrus forward notes, especially with some of the barrel picks.
Now, since this is Sunday evening sipping, we can do the big dick swinging, I guess you could say. I do actually have Jimmy's favorite bourbon he's ever done, and that's the American Spirit Bottled and Bond, 15-year-old.
I've got Evan Williams 1783.
There you go.
We've talked about this a couple times. They're upping the proof on that, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's going to like 94. I think 94, 97.
That'd be nice. It's about 10 points.
Hey Johnny, you want to come and sit? Okay, good.
That's for those of you who have decanters. That's one of my decanter fills is half Evan Williams Bottled and Bond, which is 100 proof 4 years, and half Evan Williams 1783, which is 86 proof, and God only knows how old all the stuff in it is. It's like
it's one in the box, Johnny.
Word on the street is it's the rejects of like Elijah Craig 18 and those older Heaven Hill products, but it's good whiskey. We did a show on it with Evan Williams single barrel, so you can claw back through the archives and check it out if you're curious.
Yeah, they're I'm kind of mad. They're gonna discontinue the Heaven Hill Green Label 6-year-old 90 proof.
So what you're saying is when I'm in Kentucky, I need to get a whole bunch.
I think they're only discontinuing the handle. But I've heard, but as much as Heaven Hill has told the truth to us, I believe it's going to get gotten rid of.
Nope, it's going to come back at 80 proof.
Yeah,
$37.
It'll come back. It'll come back 1 year older and $30 more expensive and be allocated. That's the biggest hyping horseshit I've ever seen in my entire life. They get the 6-year-old, the white label that sat on the shelf, and in Kentucky, nobody, only a certain group of people bought it, and then they take it away, age it for a year, make it allocated. Now it's $40. Now it's an allocated bourbon. Get the F out of here. I'm done. Sorry, I had to get fired up real easy.
We love you, Heaven Hill. We really do. Just don't watch our video this Thursday.
Jessica Reynolds. Who's Jessica Reynolds? Is that one of Is that your girl Kendrick, or is that somebody else affiliated with our crew? Hold on, I need to grab a Power Ranger for my son. Not right now, buddy. Because I said so. Anyway, all right. All right, so that is Kendra's girl. All right. You can tell me he's not coming into work. I ain't his boss this week.
I have no say, but I'm going to go ahead and okay Kendrick for a day off. You deserve it, bud.
That Eric don't count.
You did a real good job that day. I came out there, hung over, and rode around the golf course with Eric.
Slightly intoxicated that day.
I don't think I was hungover that. No, I may have been. That's true.
That was a long evening.
Wait. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was.
I think that's one of the next picks for the. Heck yeah, a Starlight pick. I'm waiting on that Russell's pick, fam. That's my jam. Oh yeah, because that's when I was making my hangover coffee.
That awful stuff you call coffee.
What I tell it, the working man's coffee.
Oh.
I was watching Cheers one time, and this guy comes in. He's gonna go into a convent, and he was like, I need to have like one day of debauchery, and before I go into a convent. So he gets all just like plastered, and so the next day he comes in. He's like, oh God, I'm so hungover, and he said, I need, because you gonna get manly hangover cures or whatever, and Sam was like, yeah. He goes, here's something that only men drink, and he goes, coffee? I've had coffee before, and he goes, no. I said something only men drink. That's yesterday's coffee. Yeah, Kendrick likes my working man's coffee. You talking about double barreled? My God, that's.
I'll take the cafecito. Don't give me none of that nasty stuff.
Sean, not necessarily at this golf course that I work at, but at previous golf courses I worked at, they did the opposite of what most people do. They work slower on the weekends versus faster for some strange reason. And I hated it. So what I would do is I would come in and I would come in early, and I would take the coffee that was there from the day before, double bag another bag of coffee, and then use the coffee that was the day before as the new coffee water.
It's not.
And needless to say, the greens got mowed pretty damn quick, and they had to shit later.
It's bad. It's just bad.
Give you that craft whiskey note.
It's not smooth. It's not drinkable. It doesn't even taste good. It's like Pabst Blue Ribbon.
But it's American, so you drink it.
Also like Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Hold on, my damn child left the door open.
Damn child.
I get yelled at for using a loud voice, but my wife's voice is at a 9 consistently. She blames it on being Midwestern. I said, well, okay.
She's not Midwestern. She's a Yankee.
Well, anywhere out of the the lower parts is Yankeedom.
She's up above that Manson-Nixon line.
Did you say Rancid Dicks? Rancid Dicks line?
No, I said Manson-Nixon.
Oh. Isn't he a pedophile now?
Who?
Charles Manson.
No, he's dead, isn't he?
I'm a dumbass. Marilyn Manson. That's what I was thinking of.
I don't know. Well, you remember that rumor that always went around, when we were in school about his ribs and what he could do since he didn't have one of them and all that.
I mean,
Also, if we could all have a moment of silence.
Man down.
For my bottle of Russell's 10.
Anybody on Instagram, if you want to give a shout out, say hi.
I don't quite know how to respond because it's like 8 feet away, but
I can respond.
Oh, okay.
Because that's something you want.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, I think he got busted in like a big Woody Allen type shit recently.
You just come up with this stuff, and I don't know if it's true, but it might be. Hold on.
I ain't lying to you. Sean, Old Forester has kind of a herbaceous medicinal taste that I am just not that big of a fan of. To me, now I did really enjoy Early Times Bald and Bond. I did really like that.
That's got a good grassy note that I really like.
But Old Forester in general, I don't know, just something different. Not a huge fan. I do like the 1910. I do really enjoy that.
I'm a sucker for a good story. So like the whole, first
marketing
bottled bourbon. Yeah, I'm a whore for that stuff. I like it. I especially like, it's not a daily drinker, but the 1920, the Prohibition style, tastes like medicine, which it was. The banana note. It is one of the least banana-y of the Brown-Forman offerings. I'll say that much.
I'm having to make Power Ranger Zords here. Did Mommy tell you not to come in here? And because
Sean, have you ever had the Old Forester, the Statesman that they rolled out with after the the Kingsman movie or whatever?
Oh, Kendrick, you don't even know, fam. I've got Megazord after Megazord in here. I've got about the same amount of Megazord as I do whiskey, and that's saying something.
No, he wasn't a pedophile, which is good. It's apparently like some abuse stuff. I don't know what kind of abuse. Psychological. Apparently, if you didn't know to begin with, don't Charles or Marilyn Manson. Don't date Charles Manson either, but where the hell do we go?
What do you mean? I'm right here. Oh, your StreamYard went dead.
You disappeared, then I disappeared. Now I'm back.
I'm still here.
And now yours is dead.
It still shows me on.
Oh well, we'll keep going. Sean, I like it. It's 95 proof. It's got a good full-bodied flavor. It's not what you would expect for a high-end. I put it up there with their Whiskey Row series. It's a quality product.
Am I still on here?
I've got it. Yeah.
I thought you said I was off.
Yeah, it was spinning like it was loading, like it does when my camera messes up. Oh, but now my camera's synced up. Finally, 56 minutes in, my camera's synced up. Sorry, everyone it's more synced up on my end. Oh,
it'd be all right. Who cares?
It's like watching a bad.
I don't think people are watching both at the same time.
Well, but if they're watching this, they're screwed up. This bourbon is really good.
Drink it.
It's super tasty.
Can we do that now?
What? Ooh.
Make bad Japanese movie references in 2021.
Sorry. Yeah, why not?
Usually you're the one that gets on to me for being racist.
It's not racist. It's a genre of film. Jackie Chan did it in his movies just for kicks and giggles.
It is. It is. This is courtesy of Mr. Ryan Zach Total Wine.
Well. We've reached the end of the evening together.
We've reached the end of our sojourn here. No, Sean, if I ever get the chance to find some OF stuff, you're the first one that's getting them, dude. Trust me.
And if there's any left, you know where to send it.
And if never mind, I'll say that one off there.
All right. We chat about finished bourbons. We had a couple of good ones. Some I think we've agreed that Starlight Distillery out of Borden, Indiana is killing it on the market now. Can't wait to visit you guys in about 2.5 weeks. We talked turkey too, and I killed my Russell's Reserve 10, so I got to replenish that pretty soon. So all in all, not a bad evening.
Yeah, we had a pretty good little turnout there.
Yep.
We had enough people come on and be like, hey, they're on there, and then leave.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Are we putting up that you know what on that day? We please.
To be determined. You know, I got that new you know what starting with a new you know who that knows about our you know what and has a card for it. So we'll chat about that.
What? Damn it! I don't want that to get archived.
Oh, it exists.
Well, you just inconspicuously put it on another day.
There we go.
Anyway,
this has been fun. You're already on one of our many platforms, so go ahead and like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever you have the option to do wherever you are. We definitely appreciate the support. Be on the lookout this Thursday. We dip into Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, and you get to hear what we think about that. So,
good luck, Sean. Good luck.
We appreciate y'all, and until next time,
cheers. Now, Sean, before I leave, I'll be glad to to try. You know that yeah. I'm definitely going to be a guinea pig in the Old Forester whiskey tasting. Free Old Forester is not bad, Old Forester.
Right.
Anyway, cheers, everybody.
Yeah, have a good one.